Aubrey's hands trembled as she clutched the crumpled letter from her father, the one that had arrived just hours before his death, its words searing into her mind like a brand. I was wrong about you, but it's too late now. She stood in the dimly lit bathroom of the office building where she'd scrubbed floors for a decade, the acrid smell of bleach clinging to her skin, a constant reminder of the life she'd been forced into after her family cast her out for loving Ellie. In that moment, as tears blurred the ink, she wondered if forgiveness could ever erase the years of humiliation, or if this was just another cruel twist in a story that had already broken her. She slammed the mop into the bucket, water sloshing over the edges, her mind racing back to that fateful night 10 years ago when her father had discovered her secret. "You're no daughter of mine," he'd bellowed, his face twisted in rage, as her mother wept silently in the corner, too afraid to intervene. Aubrey had been 20, fresh out of college with dreams of becoming a lawyer. But instead she'd been disowned, cut off from the family fortune built on her grandfather's real estate empire. Ellie had been there then, holding her as she packed her bags, whispering promises of a future together. But promises didn't pay rent, and Aubrey had taken the only job she could find: janitorial work at a corporate high-rise in downtown Chicago, where executives in suits ignored her like she was part of the furniture. Now at 30, Aubrey felt the weight of those years pressing down. Every night, she'd come home to the tiny apartment she shared with Ellie, exhaustion etched into her bones, but Ellie was her anchor. Ellie, with her fierce determination and unyielding love, had built a career as a graphic designer, supporting them both when Aubrey's pride wouldn't let her quit. But lately cracks had appeared. "Why do you stay in that job?" Ellie had asked last week, her voice laced with frustration. "You're better than this." Aubrey had snapped back. "Because it's all I have left of my dignity, proving I don't need them." Inside, though, she questioned if her stubbornness was destroying the one good thing in her life. The phone rang, jolting her from her thoughts. It was her sister, Claire, her voice cold and clipped. "Dad's gone. Heart attack. Funeral's tomorrow. Mom wants you there, but don't make a scene." Aubrey's heart pounded. Make a scene? As if showing up as herself wasn't already an act of defiance. She hung up, staring at the letter again. What did he mean by "it's too late"? Was there an apology hidden in those words, or just regret for his own sake? She texted Ellie. "Dad died. Going to the funeral." Ellie's reply came instantly. "I'm coming with you." Aubrey's chest tightened. Bringing Ellie would be like waving a red flag in front of her conservative family, but going alone felt like betrayal. The next morning, they drove to the suburbs in silence, the Chicago skyline fading in the rearview. Aubrey's mind swirled with memories. Family dinners where her father's homophobic jokes had made her shrink inside. Her mother's passive agreement that it's just a phase. When they arrived at the grand house she'd once called home, Claire greeted them at the door, her eyes narrowing at Ellie. "You brought her," she hissed. Aubrey squared her shoulders. "She's my partner. Deal with it." Inside, relatives whispered, their stares like daggers. Her uncle, a devout churchgoer, muttered about sin loud enough for her to hear. Aubrey ignored them, focusing on the casket, her father's face peaceful in death, a stark contrast to the man who'd shattered her world. During the service, the priest droned on about legacy and forgiveness, words that rang hollow. Aubrey's thoughts screamed, "How do you forgive someone who never asked?" As they lowered the coffin, her mother approached, eyes red-rimmed. "He left something for you," she said softly, handing over an envelope. Aubrey's hands shook as she opened it. A key to a safety deposit box and a note. "The empire is yours if you renounce your lifestyle." Her blood ran cold. This was his final manipulation, even from the grave. She glanced at Ellie, who stood nearby, oblivious, and wondered if love was worth the fight anymore. But as the crowd dispersed, a lawyer pulled her aside. "Miss Hargrove, your father changed his will last month. Everything, the company, the properties, it's all yours. No conditions." Aubrey's world tilted. What? The letter had been a lie? Or a test? Her mind reeled, piecing together the puzzle. Had he known he was dying and wanted to force her hand one last time? She confronted her mother later that evening. Why the fake condition? Her mother sighed. "He thought you'd walk away, prove him right. But he hoped you'd fight." Aubrey felt a surge of anger. Fight? She'd been fighting her whole life. That night, back in the apartment, Ellie held her as she sobbed. "It's over," Ellie whispered. "You can quit that job, start fresh." But Aubrey pulled away. "Is it? Or is this just another chain?" Deep down, she feared inheriting the empire meant becoming like him. Ruthless, judgmental. The money tempted her, a way out of poverty, but at what cost to her soul? As she lay awake, she replayed the funeral, the whispers, the stares. Society hadn't changed. It still viewed her love as a flaw. Accepting the inheritance felt like validation but also like surrender. The following days blurred into meetings with lawyers, signing papers that transferred millions into her name. Relatives called, some congratulatory, others accusatory, claiming she didn't deserve it. Claire was the worst, screaming over the phone. "You poisoned his mind." Aubrey hung up, but the words lingered. Had she? No, she'd stayed away, building her life despite the pain. Ellie noticed her withdrawal. "Talk to me," she pleaded. Aubrey hesitated. "What if this changes us? What if I become like them?" Ellie's eyes softened. "You won't. You're stronger." But Aubrey doubted, her inner turmoil growing. One evening, as she sorted through her father's old files, she found letters. Hateful ones he'd written but never sent, railing against her choice. It hit her like a punch. He'd never truly accepted her. The inheritance was guilt money, not love. She confided in Ellie, who suggested therapy. "We can face this together." Aubrey nodded, but inside, a seed of resentment sprouted. Why did Ellie get to be the stable one while she crumbled? The drama of her past threatened to engulf their present. Aubrey stared at the towering glass building that housed Hargrove Real Estate. The empire her father had built from nothing. Now hers by some twisted fate. She adjusted her blazer, feeling like an imposter as she stepped inside. Employees glancing curiously. "Miss Hargrove," the receptionist said, her tone deferential. Aubrey nodded, her mind flashing to the toilets she'd cleaned in similar buildings. Ironic how life circled back. But owning this didn't erase the scars. It amplified them, forcing her to confront the man she'd tried to forget. In the boardroom, executives awaited, their faces a mix of skepticism and opportunism. "Your father was a visionary," the CEO, Mr. Thompson, began. Aubrey cut him off. "And a bigot. Let's not sugarcoat it." Silence fell. She knew they whispered about her orientation, wondering if a lesbian could lead. Her thoughts raced. Prove them wrong or sell it all and walk away. The latter tempted, but the power called to her, a chance to reshape the company into something inclusive. Ellie supported the decision to take over. "Use it for good," she'd said over breakfast. But Aubrey sensed strain. Ellie had canceled client meetings to be there, her own career suffering. "I don't want you sacrificing for me," Aubrey had argued. Ellie smiled tightly. That's what partners do. Yet Aubrey's guilt gnawed. Was she dragging Ellie down with her family's poison? Weeks into her role, conflicts arose. A major client, a conservative developer, pulled out upon learning of her lifestyle. "We can't associate with that," he'd emailed. Aubrey's rage boiled. She called a meeting declaring, "If our values don't align, we're better off without them." Some nodded, others shifted uncomfortably. Inside, she questioned, "Am I leading or lashing out?" The pressure mounted, society's biases seeping into her professional life like ink on paper. Home became a battleground. Ellie found Aubrey poring over documents late at night. "Come to bed," she urged. Aubrey snapped, "I can't. This is my chance to fix things." Ellie's eyes flashed. "Fix what? Your past? At our expense." The argument escalated, words like weapons. "You don't understand," Aubrey accused. "My family rejected me because of us." Ellie recoiled. "Us? Or because you let their hate define you?" Aubrey felt betrayed. Was Ellie right? Had she internalized the rejection so deeply it poisoned their love? The next day, Claire showed up unannounced at the office. "You think you can just take everything," she spat. Aubrey remained calm. "He left it to me." Claire laughed bitterly. "Because he pitied you. Mom told me about the fake condition. He wanted to see if you'd choose family over her." Aubrey's heart stuttered. "Choose." As if love was a choice. "Get out," she said, but Claire's words lingered, stirring doubt. Did her father hope she'd renounce Ellie for the money? That evening, Aubrey confessed to Ellie. What if he was testing me? Ellie held her. You passed by being true to yourself. But Aubrey pulled away. Did I? Or am I using the money to hide? Her mind spiraled. The inheritance was a double-edged sword, offering freedom but demanding she relive the trauma. Society applauded her success, articles calling her a trailblazer. But behind closed doors, the judgment persisted, friends distancing, online trolls attacking. A turning point came at a gala fundraiser. Aubrey in a stunning gown, Ellie by her side in a tailored suit, faced the elite crowd. Whispers followed. The lesbian heiress. An old family friend approached. Your father would be proud if not for. He trailed off. Aubrey's temper flared. If not for my happiness? She excused herself, heart pounding. Outside, Ellie found her. Ignore them. But Aubrey exploded. How? It's everywhere. Ellie's patience snapped. Maybe if you stopped fighting ghosts, we could move on. The rift widened. Aubrey threw herself into work, negotiating deals that prioritized diversity, firing discriminatory staff. It felt empowering, but isolating. One night, alone in the office, she called her mother. Why did he do this? Her mother sighed. He regretted disowning you. But pride stopped him from saying sorry. The will was his way. Aubrey hung up, tears flowing. Regret? Too late. She realized the inheritance wasn't absolution. It was a burden, forcing her to question her worth beyond her identity. Ellie confronted her days later. You're pushing me away. Aubrey admitted. I'm scared. What if loving you costs me everything again? Ellie's eyes welled. It already has if you let it. They talked through the night, unpacking years of pain. Aubrey shared her deepest fear. Becoming her father. Using power to control. Ellie reassured. You're not him. For the first time, Aubrey felt a glimmer of hope, but doubt lingered like a shadow. As months passed, the company thrived under her leadership, but personal tolls mounted. Claire sued for a share, claiming undue influence. The courtroom became a stage for family secrets. Testimonies revealing her father's private anguish over her sexuality. Letters showing his internal conflict. Aubrey testified, voice steady. He rejected me, but I survived. Inside, she crumbled. Was survival enough, or did she deserve happiness? The judge ruled in her favor, but victory tasted bitter. Media frenzy followed, outing her struggles to the world. Strangers praised her resilience, but it felt invasive. Ellie stood by her, but Aubrey sensed resentment brewing. Missed anniversaries, canceled plans. Is this worth it? Ellie asked one night. Aubrey hesitated. I thought so. But her heart whispered no. The lawsuit's aftermath hit like a storm. Paparazzi camped outside their apartment, shouting questions about her scandalous life. Aubrey shielded Ellie, but the intrusion eroded their sanctuary. This is what you wanted. Ellie muttered as they pushed through the crowd. Aubrey's guilt surged. No, this wasn't the dream. Power at the price of peace. Her mind raced. Had accepting the inheritance been a mistake, inviting more judgment into their lives? At work, betrayal struck. Thompson, the CEO she'd trusted, leaked internal emails criticizing her personal agenda. Board members called for her resignation, citing distractions. Aubrey confronted him in his office. Why? He sneered. Your father's company deserves better than this. The word hung unspoken, abnormality. Rage boiled over. You're fired, she declared. But as he left smirking, she wondered. Am I purging bigots, or becoming a tyrant? Home offered no refuge. Ellie packed a bag. I need space, she said, voice breaking. Aubrey panicked. Because of me? Ellie nodded. You're consumed by this fight. Where do I fit? Aubrey's world shattered. Ellie was leaving? After everything? Don't go, she begged. Ellie paused. Prove I matter more than revenge. The door closed, leaving Aubrey alone with her thoughts. Revenge? Was that what this was? Avenging her younger self by wielding power, but losing the present? Days blurred into isolation. Aubrey avoided the office, delegating from home. Her mind a whirlwind of self-doubt. Society's gaze intensified. Talk shows debating her lifestyle's impact on business, conservatives boycotting Hargrove properties. She scrolled through hate comments. Disgusting dyke stealing family money. Each word chipped at her resolve. Why fight a system rigged against her? But quitting felt like defeat, admitting they were right. Her mother called, offering olive branches. Come home. We can talk. Aubrey went, hoping for closure. The house felt smaller, memories suffocating. I missed you, her mother said. Aubrey scoffed. After enabling his hate? Tears fell. I was scared. Society. The church. Aubrey's anger softened to pity. And now? With me rich, it's okay. Her mother looked away. I want my daughter back. But Aubrey saw the truth. Acceptance conditional on success. Claire was there too, begrudgingly. You won. Happy. Aubrey shook her head. No. It cost me Ellie. Claire's eyes widened. Her? Still. The disdain reignited Aubrey's fire. Yes, her. Love isn't a phase. They argued, old wounds reopening. Claire accusing her of selfishness. Aubrey retorting with years of abandonment. You chose him over me. Aubrey yelled. Claire broke down. I was jealous. You were always the favorite, even in rebellion. The revelation stunned. Sibling rivalry fueling the rift? Leaving, Aubrey felt unmoored. Without Ellie, the empire meant nothing. She texted. I miss you. Can we talk? No reply. Panic set in. Had she pushed too far? That night, dreams haunted her. Father's disapproval morphing into Ellie's departure. Waking, she resolved. Change or lose everything. She called a press conference, heart pounding. I've faced rejection for who I love, she began, voice steady. But today, I choose love over legacy. Gasps echoed. I'm stepping down as CEO. Donating profits to LGBTQ causes. The room erupted. Reporters fired questions. Why now? Aubrey smiled faintly. Because some battles aren't worth the casualties. Inside freedom bloomed but fear nipped. Was this right, or impulsive? Ellie saw the news, showing up at the apartment. You did that for me. Aubrey nodded. For us. They embraced, but tension lingered. What now? Ellie asked. Aubrey shrugged. Rebuild. But as they talked, cracks showed. Ellie's hurt from neglect, Aubrey's defensiveness. You shut me out, Ellie accused. Aubrey admitted. I was scared of losing control. Reconciliation felt fragile, built on shifting sands. Months later, normalcy teased. Aubrey consulted for inclusive businesses. Ellie freelanced successfully. But society didn't forget. A former employee sued for wrongful termination, claiming discrimination against straights. Ridiculous, but the media spun it, painting Aubrey as vengeful. See, they're pushing an agenda. Forums raged. Aubrey's anxiety spiked. Would this never end? Claire reached out, apologizing. I was wrong. They met for coffee, tentative steps toward healing. Dad's hate came from his upbringing, Claire shared. Aubrey nodded, but thought. Excuses don't erase pain. Still, forgiveness beckoned, a way to break the cycle. Yet, betrayal loomed again. Ellie confessed. During our break, I kissed someone else. Aubrey's world cracked. Who? Ellie whispered. A friend. It meant nothing. But to Aubrey it meant everything, doubt, insecurity. Why? Ellie cried. I felt alone. Aubrey stormed out, mind screaming. Is love ever safe? The damage felt irreparable. A culmination of pressures fracturing their bond. She wandered Chicago streets, questioning every choice. Accepting the inheritance had amplified conflicts, but rejecting it might have bred resentment. Society's lens distorted everything. Her relationship a spectacle, her decisions debated. Was happiness possible in a world that viewed her as other? Returning home, Ellie waited. Forgive me. Aubrey hesitated. I don't know. The night stretched, filled with raw confessions. Ellie's loneliness, Aubrey's absorption. Dawn brought uneasy truce, but trust hung by a thread. The kiss haunted Aubrey like a ghost, replaying in quiet moments, eroding the foundation they'd rebuilt. How do I move past this? She asked Ellie one evening, voice laced with pain. Ellie reached for her hand. By trusting I choose you every day. But Aubrey withdrew, her inner voice whispering, choices can change. The betrayal, born from her own neglect, forced her to confront her role in their unraveling. Had her obsession with proving herself created the void Ellie filled? Work provided distraction, but even there, shadows followed. The lawsuit escalated, depositions dredging up personal details, her orientation weaponized. Did your lifestyle influence decisions? The lawyer probed. Aubrey's jaw clenched. My integrity did. But doubt crept. Was she unbiased, or driven by vendetta? Society amplified the narrative, op-eds questioning if people like her could lead fairly. Friends distanced, fearing association. Her mother invited her for dinner, a peace offering. Aubrey went alone, Ellie opting out. Too much history, she'd said. At the table, Claire was civil, but tension simmered. You've changed everything, her mother noted. Aubrey replied, for the better. But as they discussed the past, truths emerged. Her father's secret donations to anti-gay groups, hidden even from family. Aubrey's stomach churned. Hypocrisy at its core. Why tell me now? Her mother shrugged. To help you understand. Understand? It fueled rage. He'd profited from hate while condemning her. Leaving, Aubrey called Ellie. I need you. Ellie came, listening as Aubrey vented. He was a monster. Ellie soothed. But you're not. Their intimacy returned tentatively, but the kiss lingered unspoken, a barrier. Aubrey pondered. Forgive and risk more hurt, or guard her heart and lose love. A crisis hit when a tabloid published Ellie's indiscretion. Source from an insider. Eris's lover cheats, the headline screamed. Aubrey's phone exploded. Reporters' relatives. Claire denied leaking, but suspicion festered. Who else knew? Aubrey demanded. Ellie broke down. I told a friend in confidence. The friend? The one she'd kissed. Aubrey felt punched. Double betrayal. You trusted her over us? Ellie sobbed. I was hurting. The argument peaked. Maybe we need to end this, Aubrey said, words tasting like ash. Ellie gasped. Don't. But Aubrey's walls rose. Protection or cowardice? Alone that night, she weighed the costs. Years of love versus recent wounds. Society's pressure had cracked them, but their choices sealed the fractures. Was staying a mistake, enabling more pain? Mourning brought clarity, or so she thought. Let's try therapy, she proposed. Ellie agreed, sessions unveiling layers. Aubrey's abandonment issues, Ellie's need for validation. The therapist probed. What price are you willing to pay for love? Aubrey reflected. Everything, but not her self-respect. Progress was slow, revelations painful. Ellie's kiss a symptom of deeper neglect. Meanwhile, the company faced boycott threats from conservative groups. Aubrey, as consultant, advised selling to a progressive buyer. Cut ties, she urged the board. They did, profits dipping but integrity intact. Personally, it symbolized release, shedding her father's shadow. Claire confessed over lunch. I leaked it. Jealousy. Aubrey stared, betrayal fresh. Why? Claire admitted. To hurt you like you hurt us by leaving. Leaving? You disowned me. The confrontation cathartic, Aubrey forgave tentatively. We're family but boundaries. Inside she marveled. Healing possible amid ruin? With Ellie, trust rebuilt brick by brick. A weekend getaway tested them. Intimate talks, laughter returning. But a call interrupted. Her uncle, dying, wanted reconciliation. Only if you accept me fully, Aubrey stipulated. He agreed weakly. At his bedside he whispered, I was wrong. Tears came, too many apologies too late. Returning, Ellie proposed. Marry me. Aubrey hesitated. After everything? Ellie nodded. Because of everything. Joy mixed with fear. Commit in a world that challenged their union? She said yes, but doubts whispered. Sustainable? Wedding planning amplified conflicts. Family invites sparking debates. Her mother attended rehearsals reluctantly, Claire supportive but awkward. Society's gaze loomed, media framing it as controversial. Aubrey questioned. Defiance or delusion? The day before the ceremony, Ellie wavered. What if we're forcing this? Aubrey's heart sank. Are you? Ellie confessed fears. Your past consumes you. Aubrey realized. The damage ran deep, her traumas infecting their future. They postponed, hearts heavy. Time, Ellie said. But Aubrey feared permanence. In solitude, she confronted her reflection. Victim or victor? The inheritance had empowered, but at what cost? Relationships strained, self-fractured? Society's biases, family's prejudices, her own choices, all culprits. Was redemption and release? She donated the remaining fortune anonymously to shelters for LGBTQ youth, keeping only enough for stability. Freedom washed over her, but loneliness followed. Ellie moved out temporarily. To find ourselves, she explained. Aubrey nodded, tears streaming. Necessary sacrifice? Months passed, growth evident. Therapy helped Aubrey process, forgiving herself first. Contact with Ellie sporadic, hopeful. But a letter arrived from Ellie. I need more time. Aubrey's world dimmed. Had love's price been too high? Aubrey stood in the empty apartment. Echoes of Ellie's laughter fading like distant thunder. The donation had lightened her load, but the void grew. Was it worth it? She whispered to the walls. Society moved on, her story old news. But personal scars remained, trust shattered, heart cautious. She threw herself into advocacy, speaking at events about resilience amid rejection. Audiences applauded, but inside she questioned. Inspiration or illusion? Claire reached out, their bond strengthening. I'm proud, she said during a visit. Aubrey smiled faintly. Took long enough. They discussed rebuilding family, holidays tentative, acceptance gradual. Her mother joined, apologies flowing. I failed you. Aubrey forgave, but boundaries held. No more judgment. Yet Ellie's absence ached. Texts evolved from polite to poignant. Miss you. Aubrey replied similarly, fearing vulnerability. Therapy urged. Reach out. She did, meeting for coffee. Ellie looked radiant but guarded. How are you? Aubrey asked. Ellie sighed. Healing. They talked hours, unpacking betrayals, hers, Ellie's, society's. We were collateral in your war, Ellie admitted. Aubrey nodded. I see that now. Reconnection sparked, dates cautious. But past hovered. Can we trust again? Ellie wondered. Aubrey pondered. Love's fragility in a prejudiced world. They decided slowly, therapy guiding. Intimacy returned, but shadows lingered. Arguments flaring over old wounds. A year later, Aubrey's uncle passed, his will leaving her a small inheritance. Ironic closure. At the funeral, family united awkwardly. Her mother whispered, your father would approve now. Aubrey doubted. Approval posthumous, meaningless. Ellie attended, hand in hers, defying stares. We're stronger, she said. Aubrey agreed, but inside uncertainty brewed. Sustainable amid ongoing battles? Life normalized. Careers balanced, relationship deepening. Aubrey wrote a memoir, exposing truths. Families hate, society's toll, personal choices costs. Reviews mixed, praise for honesty, criticism for victimhood. She shrugged, truth over approval. But drama resurfaced. A former flame of Ellie's contacted her, stirring jealousy. Just friends, Ellie assured. Aubrey trusted, but doubt nagged. Patterns repeating? They argued, Ellie storming out. Your insecurities. Aubrey reflected. Her father's legacy, mistrust ingrained. Reconciliation came with compromise. Open communication, no secrets. Aubrey realized. Love demanded vigilance, not perfection. At a Pride event, Aubrey spoke. We pay prices for authenticity, rejection, betrayal, but the reward is freedom. Cheers erupted, Ellie beaming beside her. Yet privately she confessed. Sometimes I wonder if it's too much. Their anniversary approached, plans grand. But Ellie hesitated. Marriage now. Aubrey pushed. Why wait? Pressure built, revealing cracks. Aubrey's need for commitment. Ellie's fear of confinement. After the kiss I doubt, Ellie admitted. Aubrey hurt. Eternal penance? They separated again amicably. Space to decide, Ellie said. Aubrey agreed, heartbreaking, love's ultimate test. Months of self-discovery followed. Aubrey traveled, advocating globally, witnessing similar stories. Families torn, societies evolving slowly. Change is possible, she thought, but at individual cost. Ellie returned resolute. I choose us. Aubrey embraced her, but questioned. Finality or cycle? Years blended, their bond enduring trials, health scares, career shifts, societal shifts. Gay marriage normalized, but biases persisted subtly. Aubrey's empire sold long ago, funded causes, personal wealth modest. At her mother's funeral, family gathered, acceptance fuller. Claire hugged her. You've taught us. Aubrey smiled, progress hard won. But the story's core remained, choices, consequences. Aubrey and Ellie together reflected on the journey. Cleaning toilets to claiming empires, betrayals to forgiveness. In quiet moments, Aubrey pondered the initial shock. Disowned for love, inheriting despite it. Had her father intended redemption or control? The answer eluded, but growth prevailed. As they aged, love deepened, resilient. Yet the narrative's end posed a query. In a world of prejudices, is pursuing forbidden love a heroic act or a foolish gamble? Was her father's final act one of atonement or manipulation?